Welcome again, everyone. I am making this video based upon a commenter's request. Um, she goes by the name of @RainmakerNYC. She's a supporter of the channel. She is subscribed, and I'm going to read her comment first so everything can be put in context. And I'm going to answer the question. She sort of answered the question already within her comment, but I feel the need to give her her just due by reading everything she said, so you guys can actually have the full context of seeing how I'm responding. Because if I just say I'm responding to somebody's request, then you guys are going to be wondering, like, who requested what? What did they say? But I'm telling you what they said now. Again, the commenter's name goes by the name of @RainmakerNYC. @RainmakerNYC. She says, "Love to know what you think about Prime, his sons, and Hunter being represented by Smack Entertainment. It's the same company that films the Coach Prime docuseries, which this season features Colorado and last season featured JSU, Jackson State University. I wonder if Prime is chasing storylines instead of wins, in addition to the obvious stat padding. Also, wonder if Hunter and his sons are compensated for their appearances on the series and the other members of the team are not. For your information, Sam, who works in Prime's office, you may have seen him on the Well Off videos, is the stepson of the other Smack co-founder. Thanks for the insightful video. Love your takes." All right, thank you @RainmakerNYC. Thank you for that comment, and thank you for asking that question, because inquiring minds helps us evolve. And the only way I can even think outside of what I'm normally bringing you is when I hear questions like that. It expands my mind, and it forces me to actually delve into other scenarios and glean from those scenarios, and then come with some information to provide you guys here on YouTube. Now, a lot was said in that video, in that comment. When you are a critical thinker, everything starts to piece together. Smack Entertainment, the CEO, her name is Constance Schwartz. That's her name, and Michael Strahan is the co-founder of it. Of course, it's about a brand. It's not about wins and losses. It's never been about wins and losses. But when I say that, people have a knee-jerk reaction. What do you mean? Of course he wants to win. He's won everywhere he went. He's gone. Yeah, athletically he won. But you have to understand, Coach Prime's at a different stage of his life. He's not an athlete anymore. He's a coach. Winning in life goes beyond winning games on a collegiate level. Winning in life entails getting the bag, creating your brand, extending your brand, having your brand run long, which by default will incur long money. When you have long money, you end up building generational wealth. That's the win that Coach Prime is going for. He doesn't give a damn about Colorado, and he doesn't give a damn about wins. He only gives a damn about his sons and Travis. When I sat down, when @RainmakerNYC posed her question, I didn't know that. I had to do research. When I read that comment, I said, "Smack. Let me look this up." That's how I knew that the CEO was Constance Schwartz. It's a lady. She's in her 20s, I believe. I think she's 28 years old. I had to look her up. Finding out that Michael Strahan is the co-founder. I did my research. It's about branding. Coach Prime has an agenda, folks. I've been trying to say that. But as the months and the weeks go by, we start to gain more information. We start to realize that, it is not what we thought it was. Conventional wisdom would say that we want it to be about the kids. In many interviews with Constance Schwartz, the CEO of Smack Entertainment, she talks about how Prime is about the kids. Listen, guys, these people are entertainers. Whenever you hear the term documentary or docuseries, that means that the information that's put into that docuseries is doctored, is curated, is edited to push towards a certain narrative about a particular individual or about a particular organization. That's why it's called a documentary. Documentaries are a fancy term to make the ignorant believe that just because it's a documentary or a docuseries, that is just based on facts. That everything that you see on the video is fact-based in real time, and there's no bias, there's no slant to it. There's no it's done without the motive of trying to emit a type of message to the masses who are watching the docuseries. Documentaries are not based on reality. Documentaries are heavily fictional. It's fictional, but given the veneer of nonfiction. Nonfiction means real. It's given the veneer. Veneer means the look, the semblance. It's a resemblance because it's a documentary. You have film footage and you have people talking about something, but it's all edited. And as an onlooker, if you're watching it from an objective lens, you understand that everything that's done in a documentary and a docuseries is planned. You're not going to get the raw, real person on a docuseries. None of us know Prime. All we know is what he gives us. And that's what I'm going to go off of. I'm not going to go off what he says. So every time that Constance Schwartz, the CEO of Smack Entertainment, and the co-founder Michael Strahan, whenever she speaks, she talks about, oh, he's about the kids. No, he's about a particular kids. He's about a specific amount of kids. He's not about kids like that. He's not about kids like that. And to be honest with you, people's mindsets do shift over time. I'm not saying he hates kids. So a lot of the times when I speak, people who are going against what I'm saying, they oftentimes want to go to the extreme to make their point. Just because I say he's not about the kids doesn't mean I'm saying that he hates kids. I just mean that push, that emphasis on the narrative of Coach Prime is all about the kids, that's not all the way factual. He's about Shador, he's about Travis, and he's about Shiloh. Which is why, as you heard at Rainmaker NYC, on the comment she made, she specifically named the people that are tied up with Smack Entertainment. She says it's about Prime, his sons, i.e. Shiloh and Shador, and Hunter being represented by Smack Entertainment. And she made an interesting point. They have to be, compensation is due. If you're part of that, entertainment industry, and they're documenting, doing a docuseries, then of course you're going to be compensated. And yeah, you don't think the other players on the team notice that? They may not know it now, but they will later. Everyone initially thought it was all about football. It's not all about football. Football is just a cloak. Football is the curtain. And once you open up the curtain, once you move football back, you understand that it's never been about football. It's about branding. This is something that has been in the works for years. This goes back 14 years ago, according to Constance Schwartz, when she first met Coach Prime. This happened over a decade ago when she linked back up with him because Prime wanted to know who was the person that was in charge of doing Snoop's Little League stuff, the Snooper Bowl, the stuff that Snoop Dogg does. He wanted to know. And Constance, she says, no, I'm the one that's in charge of that. That's how they linked up. He was interested in building his brand. Now, is there something wrong with trying to build your brand? No, I'm not saying that. But all you big football heads who are into Colorado football because of their insignificance in football for so many years, their irrelevance in football for so many years, now that they are relevant, even though they're winning a little bit more games, but they're relevant because all the hype and all the attention that they're getting. A lot of you football heads are are knee deep in this. You guys are neck deep into this because you guys want to see football in its pure state. You guys want to see people that are part of something that are all football. But I'm here to tell you folks, Coach Prime is not about all football. It's probably 20% football and 80% is about his brand. How can I say that? Why would I say that? Well, like they say, the proof is in the pudding. I don't go about what you say, I go about what I see. You tell a girl you love her, well, that's great that you're saying it. What does your action say? A woman tells a man, I respect you. That's great. You say you respect me. What does your action? What does your actions convey? When you act, what does your actions truly convey? Does it convey a woman that actually respects her man? When Coach Prime says he's about the kids and he puts the team first, your actions don't show that, Coach Prime. Constance, on the interview that I heard, she was giving an interview. She was being interviewed, and she talked about how when he was coaching Little League, he did not want to leave his Little League team to attend. I think he was informed that he made the Hall of Fame, and I think that when you get that message, you're supposed to go somewhere, and he did not want to leave his team at that time because he did not want to set, according to her story, he did not want to paint the picture that his individual accomplishment was more important than the team. Okay, that's great. That's great. But I think that's disingenuous because we all know Coach Prime is about Prime. See, there's a lot of false humility that's inserted in a lot of the things that Coach Prime does. And that's the trickery in it. And that's the manipulation in it. That's the manipulative aspect of a person that's very cunning and clever in what they do. You have to put out front what you're not to really be who you are behind the front that you put up. I'm explaining it. So, if I want to hide my true intent, I'm going to put something up in front of me to hide my face, right? You can't see me right now. All you see is this cap, all right? The Scully cap, right? So I want you to think that this is who I am here. I'm putting this in front. This is the front. But behind this is the true me. I'm doing my dirt behind this. You can't see what I'm doing. I'm making all sorts of faces and I'm doing a bunch of silly things that you can't see. But this is who I want you to believe that I am. So when this narrative is being painted that he's about the team first, he's about the kids, he's not about kids, because if you were about kids, you would not throw your whole offensive lineman under the bus. When you were asked during a post conference about what needs to be done about your offensive line, your response would not be, replace them. If you're about kids, you wouldn't say that. You wouldn't say that. If those linemen were all your sons, you would not say that. So this idea, this notion that Prime is about the kids, that's a damn lie from hell. That's not true. He's about specific kids. And when he does something that comes across as humble, that comes across as a sign of showing humility, it's false humility. It's called false piosity. It's the person that goes to church that likes to pray out loud in front of everybody so everybody can see them praying out loud. It's the person that wants to be seen for something outwardly, but inwardly, when no one's watching, they're doing the biggest amount of dirt. They're doing the worst of ills. I'm going to wear the big cross and the big chains to show that I believe in God outwardly. But my practices are not going to show that because I'm putting on the front. I want you to see this, not this. I want you to see this. And that's what's being done. That's what's being done. So, of course, it's not about football. And as she says on here at Rainmaker NYC, she says, I wonder if Prime is chasing storylines instead of wins. He's chasing both. He's chasing both. Because the wins add to the storyline. You understand what I'm saying at Rainmaker NYC? Because if he wins, it accentuates the storyline. If he loses, it's not too good for the storyline, but at least it's a docuseries and it shows probably how he struggled earlier on and then got better later on. But we all know the plans of men oftentimes do not work, because if you have a plan that you're putting ahead of the bigger scheme, I always tell kids this and talk to younger kids. I always say, do something that's greater than you. Be a part of something that's greater than you. Prime is giving off the illusion that he's joining Colorado, being a part of something that's bigger than him. But no, Coach Prime innately believes that he's bigger than Colorado and bigger than the Colorado football program, which is why he's bringing his Louis luggage and bringing his agenda to Colorado. Again, it's an inversion, like I said in the last video. It's not quite correct. It's off kilter. It's off of frequency, and nothing ever jives or works that way. We live in a world with electromagnetic fields, and everything that we operate with is all underneath frequencies. You have a love frequency. You have a hate frequency. You ever walk into a room where people are happy? You don't even if you don't hear anybody laughing, but when people are happy, there's a certain joy you feel when you walk into the room. You don't know where it came from, but you get a certain feeling. That's if you are circumspect to things like that. If you are a deep cerebral thinker. Some people, they're either too high or too drunk to even notice their surroundings. But I'm talking about people who actually are critical thinkers, who think about their surroundings when they step into a room. Or you ever see a lady who sits down, and then there may be a guy who looks like he's a robber. He may look like a criminal. He may have the look of what people may stigmatize as some criminal. And you'll see people kind of tense up. It's the energy field that you bring in. So the energy field that Prime is bringing in, he's bigger than Colorado. He's already said that the brand was being built way before it came to Colorado. Way before it came to Colorado. Colorado is just a stepping stone to get to where he wants to be now. However, and moreover, moving on from that, I truly believe that this is why I truly believe that he will end up wanting to go to the NFL. Because Constance Shorts, again, the CEO of Smack Entertainment, she's big into the NFL. She started with the NFL. Michael Strahan is from the NFL. This docu-series, mark my words, these are the inaugural stages of the docu-series documenting Coach Prime's ascension to the NFL. And the best storyline would be that he goes to the NFL and coaches his son and wins the Super Bowl. The best storyline would be that he comes to Colorado, wins a national championship, his son gets drafted to the NFL, he follows his son to the NFL, and in a couple of years, he and his son win a Super Bowl. All right? That sounds like a fairy tale ending. I know it does. But that's the mindset of Coach Prime. When he came to Colorado, he wanted to win now. He wouldn't be shocked if they were, right now, if they were 10-0, because there are 2 more games remaining, and it was at Rainmaker NYC who corrected me, because on a couple of videos that I made a while ago, I said that they had 3 more games left, but in actuality, it's 2 more games. So right now, if they were 10-0, Coach Prime would not be surprised. He wouldn't be shocked like, oh my God, I can't believe this team is that good. He expected to win every game. That's not a bad thing. Everything that I say about Coach Prime is not negative. I just want you guys to see what kind of man he is, which will give you guys an indication of why he does what he does. A man who loves kids will not throw his offensive lineman under the bus. And is what he said. I'm not even going to use the word throw under the bus, because throwing people under the bus comes in different levels. There are levels to throwing people under the bus. He literally said on national TV, replace them. So in other words, what you're implying is that they're trash. They're nothing to you. They're nothing to this team because they can't protect your son. They cannot protect your golden boy. So right then and there, you've shown a bit of your nepotism in your response. You don't critique Shedeur. You never critique Shedeur. It's never Shedeur's fault. It's never. And rightfully so. Maybe all the games they've played this year, Shedeur has never done anything wrong, and I get it. But you can't talk like that to the media about your offensive lineman. And then you try to clean it up on another press conference. You know how they have those weekly pressers with Coach Prime? He said, "Oh yeah, I had to talk with my offensive lineman. It's gonna be better. I had to talk with him. We had a real talk." Like, what kind of talk? I don't even believe you had a talk with them. I don't believe you had a talk with them. And if you did, what can you do to repair that? Like, I would rather you save that kind of talk when the cameras are off. Like, if you wanted to rip them apart and say, man, I'm gonna replace y'all, I don't mind if you do that in the locker room where no one could, no one knows what you said. But the fact that you have the gall and the intestinal fortitude to actually have the gumption to have those words spew forth out of your mouth about young men that are doing the best that they can against a elite UCLA defensive lineman 3 out of 4 linemen are NFL bound. For you to rip them to shreds like that on national TV, that's not about kids. That's not about the youth. That's not the way you motivate. So when people are critiquing Coach Prime, there's a reason why we are critiquing him, because we understand that his words are not matching his actions. They're not. And she says here also, I wonder if Hunter and Coach Prime's sons are compensated. Well, I already talked about that. Of course they're being compensated. If they're part of the company, they're being compensated. Coach Prime is only looking out for a handful of people, guys. I kept saying that. I kept naming Travis Hunter, Shallow, and Shador. That's it. Are you trying to tell me if Alton McCaskill was Coach Prime's son, you think that Alton wouldn't be running that damn ball you don't think there'll be a heavy run offense? You don't think so? Think again. I've heard Prime, when he was on NFL Network, plenty of times critique NFL teams accurately. He's a great mind. He's smart. He played in the NFL. He understands football. But again, emotion clouds judgment. That's why you have women who can be in an abusive relationship with a man that's beating the hell out of them. Because when your emotions are not geared on the right frequency and you have not taken charge of your emotions due to you being desperate or living under fear for a very long time, because when you're desperate for a man, you're going to be willing to take things that you normally wouldn't take if you were not in a desperate state. So your disposition is always critical in how you accept certain things in your life. Prime's disposition and his affinity towards his son is the precursor, it's the culprit to what's helping fuel this insanity that's actually clouded his judgment. And if you think that what I'm saying is BS, then look at the proof in the pudding from what Rainmaker NYC just stated. He has an entertainment company. But there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying, is the focus on football or is the focus on building a brand? Now, some of you guys may say, why can't you do both? You can't do both. I'm going to tell you why you can't do both. Because one conceives the other. I'm going to explain what I mean by one conceives the other. I can't have a baby by myself because I'm a man. Biologically, I can't get pregnant. Of course, you have these weird scientist people saying that men can do whatever, but from a biological standpoint, in its most pristine state, a man cannot have a child. A woman has the anatomy and the physiological parts to actually embrace the child through her body, have the child, and then nurture the child through her breast. We can't do that as men. Okay? Follow me here, what I'm trying to say. You can't do both because one conceives the other. When I sleep with my wife, and she conceives through us coming together as one. Two become one conceives child. When you're talking about why can't you do both? Well, both football and entertainment, even though football is entertainment, but when you're talking about building your brand, because that came first, that's your first love. Now you're using football as a tool, as an apparatus to feed your entertainment, to feed your brand. It's a disingenuous practice, and it's a practice that's exercised in futility because one conceives the other. Follow what I'm saying. If he's successful as a football coach and it's about wins, your brand is built off of you winning. Nick Saban, or I just say Nick Saban because that's the coach that everybody is familiar with. Coach for Alabama. His brand is built because he won championships. He didn't come in trying to build his brand and then say, I'm going to coach Alabama to help build my brand. See, everything that Prime is doing is backwards. That's why it's never going to work. It's going to fail. Not because I'm hating, because that's just the law of the universe. Laws of nature is not going to allow it to happen. It's as concrete as the laws of physics. Just like if you jump off of a building, you're not going to float. You're going to fall and get killed. You're going to die. That's how it is when you operate off of metrics that are inverted, and then you try to fit that round shape or that square shape into a round hole. It's not going to work. It just won't fit. So, building your brand, if you're a coach, is built by you winning. Then your brand comes out of that. Coach Jimmy Johnson, when he was the coach for Dallas Cowboys, his brand was built because he won Super Bowls. Jerry Rice, his brand was built because he won Super Bowls and accrued many receiving records that are not going to be broken for many years. I don't believe that those records are going to be touched. He produced on the football field, so football conceived the brand. You can't try to build your brand and then use football to build the brand. Football has to be first. And if football's not first, if it's about entertainment and building your brand, you cannot come through a program when you're leading a bunch of men, young, youthful men, and then using them as your stepping stones to build your brand. That's disingenuous, that's unlawful, and that's not right. If you want to build your brand first, then just build your brand. Do things, keep doing what you were doing. Give speeches, go to NFL Network, promote your son. Don't get into coaching. Everything's backwards. I think the idea, he's smart. Coach Prime is smart to build your brand, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's the steps he's taken to build that brand. That's the problem. This happened over a decade ago when he got with Smack Entertainment. This has been something that's in the works. He didn't come to Colorado and say all of a sudden, oh, I need to build my brand. No. Prime has always been about his brand, even when he played. Must be the money. You know how he had the Jerry curl and he's always been about himself. He shows you that he's about himself. When he gets up and talks, he's about the kids. Nah, man, I go by what I see. And what I've seen this year, when you've been put on the biggest stage in the Power 5 conference, what I've seen is that when things got tough, you threw your offensive lineman under the bus by saying that you're going to get them replaced. You threw your offensive coordinator under the bus by demoting him, and then when people were asking questions, you put it back on the reporters as if they're the ones that are trying to stir up some type of chaos or stir up some type of confrontation or conflict within the team. No, they're just asking questions. Oh, we're not going to do that over here. He's a good man, you know. We're not about putting people down. Well, what do you mean you're not about putting people down? When you demote somebody, you've put them down. Or is it not true that you demoted him, Coach Prime? Because my belief is that he never did demote him. If you look back at my other videos, I believe that the offensive coordinator, Sean Lewis, he stepped down. He got tired of coaching underneath Prime because Prime wanted the ball in Shadour's hands. He did not want to run the ball. And if you guys think that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, just watch the damn game. Do they run the ball? No, they don't. And then when Pat Schumer was inserted as the offensive coordinator, did they start running the ball? No, nothing changed. So guys, just think, critical thinking. It helps. It doesn't even cost money. It just takes time. Work on that. Develop that brain power and those brain muscles and start thinking outside the box. Never take what's given to you on the surface. Because what's given to you on the surface is that everybody's against Prime, which is not true. Most people are for him because he has a magnetic personality. So most people are for him. Yeah, you're always going to have your detractors. We understand that. Everyone's not going to love you. We get it. But this idea that a lot of people are going against Prime, that's a lie. Most people love Prime. And he's about himself and building his brand. Just if you know that, that's what I'm trying to get you guys to see. Just know him for what he is. And don't go in with a misguided or misconstrued perception of who he is and then get upset when certain things are not working. Well, you're getting yourself upset because number one, you think that he's about kids. Number two, you believe that the world's against him because no one wants to see him succeed. Number three, you think that, hey, it takes time. He just got there. No, yeah, we know it takes time, but when he got there, he did not get there with a bone of humility. And people say, well, he's doing it his way. We get it. He's doing it the prideful, egotistical way. And that's what happens when you come in with pride and you come in with a lot of ego. You're going to face a lot of criticism and conflict when things are not going the way you came in with. That's like me stepping onto a job and acting like I'm going to be the best worker. Then when the real work begins, I'm lagging behind. People are going to look at me like, isn't that the guy that said he was going to come in here and outwork us? Why is he in the back? He's not even anywhere close to the front. See, the way you come in is going to be the way it ends when it doesn't go right. The kind of height you came in with, Prime, that's going to be the depths of your plummet or your fall. Pride comes before the fall, folks. That's not just a biblical term. That's an ancient proverb that comes from ancient texts in Egypt. It comes out of the Sumer, when they scribe things on stone, the papyri paper, and scribe these ancient sayings. Pride comes before the fall. It clouds judgment, folks. We are electrical beings. We operate of course, we operate off of our hormones, but those hormones are triggered by frequencies that we emit based upon our energy and motion, i.e., emotions. Prime is very full of himself. He's very full of himself. You know, he's not going to take correction. And as a matter of fact, on the interview that I heard with him and that the interview with Constance, she mentioned how when they were on the phone, he was too well, she didn't say this part. She just said, I'm going to tell you what she said, and I'm going to tell you what I interpret from that. She said that when they were on the phone, and she said, well, knowing him, he's not going to ask. He's not the one who asked her, can we work together? It was she who said, hey, we can work together. But he wanted to because he was the one that reached out to her and was asking questions about Snoop Dogg's, Little League stuff, the Snooper Bowl. He does that Snooper Bowl with the Little League kids. He was inquiring about that. And when she says, I'm the one that runs it, I'm the media guru behind that, I'm the one that's in charge with the marketing and the branding of that, you could imply from that conversation that you have sender and receiver. The sender, the initial sender was Prime. He sent the message to Constance by calling her first. She receives and she picks up. Because in communication, you have to have a sender and receiver. The sender was Prime. He sends a message to Constance. Constance picks up the phone. Now she receives it. They're talking. The sender is coming in with inquiries. He has questions. What's going on? Who's the person that's in charge of this? Who's the person in charge of marketing Snoop Dogg stuff and blah, 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 blah. She says, I am. Now she responds. She receives the message. Now she responds. She sends him back a message. Now he receives that message knowing that, hey, she's what I'm looking for. But even in that, he couldn't even say, hey, we need to link up. He didn't say that. And she mentioned that. It's a reason why she said that in her interview. She said that she was talking to, I think it was Rich Eisen. Rich Eisen was the host of the show. Actually, it was on Rich Eisen's show. You could go check it out yourself on YouTube. It was on the Rich Eisen show. Rich Eisen says, oh, yeah, because she says, Constance says, oh, yeah, he's not going to ask. So I was the one that had to say something. And like, it's okay because it's Prime. We understand that he's not going to ask because he's too prideful to ask. He's not going to. I'm Prime. You know who I am. I'm not going to ask you for help. But even though I'm calling for help, but I want you. So she had to be the one to initiate it. So these are the nuances that I look for. When I hear people talk, I watch your behavior. I watch your responses. It takes a degree of humility to go seek help and then ask somebody, can you help me brand myself? But he's too big for that. Then her excuse is that, well, he's had a lot of failings and yada, yada, yada. So he didn't, it's hard for him to trust people. Well, hell, if it's hard for you to trust people, then go live in a cave and go live with the monks. Because you're going to be around people all the time. There are going to be some people you can't trust and there are going to be some people that you can trust. So that idea, see, people are always interjecting or injecting things to cover up for Coach Prime. Oh, he doesn't trust people. Yeah, of course. None of us, we can't blindly trust everybody, but he had the nerve to pick up the phone to find out who's the person that's in charge of Snoop Dogg's Little League stuff, like who's marketing that. He had enough gall to call the phone to figure that out. So obviously, his lack of trust didn't stop him from calling. He wanted to figure out who that person was. And then when he found out, he still couldn't humble himself to ask her, can we work together? She had to be the one to initiate it. So, yeah. The man doesn't have any humility. It's false humility. He talks well. He has a gift of gab, and I give him that. But he's not about the kids. He's about Shador, Shiloh, and Travis. And as you can see, they're building brands here. He's only looking out for certain people, and he's going to be out of Colorado faster than you guys can blink. I feel sorry. And then again, that's going to be another video that I'm going to do. I'm not going to do it on this one, but I will give you a lead up to it. I'm going to give you a lead up to it. There've been a lot of people that have been decommitting. Well, not a lot of people. I wouldn't say a lot. Players are starting to decommit because other coaches are starting to tell players that they're trying to recruit that Coach Prime won't be there for long. Is that true? No. Is that false? No. But you know why kids are believing that? Because they see how Coach Prime is moving. He's too big. Common sense will tell you, man, this guy's too big to stay in Colorado. Because he's made himself that big. It's about his brand. And the biggest brand is not Colorado. The biggest brand is going to the highest level, which is the National Football League, the NFL. And what's going to help your docuseries out is if you elevate it from the lower ranks, you go up to high school, then you go to HBCU, then you go to a Power 5 conference, and then you go to the NFL, the highest league of football, the professionals, and ultimately win a Super Bowl there as a coach. That would be the storyline that he would ideally want. He's not staying in Colorado, folks. If he stays there, it'll be only because his daughter is there until she finishes. I don't know if she's I don't know what year she's in, but he's not staying there, folks. So that's why these kids are starting to kind of believe that, no, he's not going to stay. Kids want to come to a place where they know that the coach who recruited them is going to be there for the long haul, because he just started there. At least do your 5 years, Prime. But I don't see him doing 5 years. He's locked into Travis. He's locked into Shiloh and Shador. He even said it. This is my other son. He's never said that about Cormani. He's never said that about anybody else. He only loves you if you are as great as him, or if you have his last name on your back. He respects the hell out of Travis Hunter because he knows Travis Hunter is an amazing talent. If you're not talented, he wants nothing to do with you. That's not about kids. You're supposed to accept kids whether they're good or bad. Kids are kids. He said it on I think it was after the TCU game. He says, my sons, I consider him my son too. Go back and look at these things. I remember these things. I'm not pulling this out of my ass. He said it. I look at Travis Hunter like another one of my sons. Those are his sons. Those are the only ones he cares about, folks. He doesn't care about the offensive linemen. He doesn't care about Alton McCaskill. He doesn't care about the running backs. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. Screw them. I'm about this small group that I have. I'm trying to build them up. It's individual branding. He's focused on his brand and focused on helping a couple of kids. That's it. The rest of them can go to hell. The rest of them are just disposable. They're just collateral damage. They're just resources to help push his agenda. That's it. So yeah, this was a good post by you at Rainmaker NYC. This was awesome. This is good stuff. And she says, for your information, Sam, who works in Prime's office, you may have seen him on Well Off videos, is the stepson of the other Smack co-founder. Thanks. See, it's all in the family, man. This is when you start peeling back the onion and peeling back the curtain, you start to see that it's much deeper than what's on the surface. Coach Prime isn't at Colorado to win football games, man. It's about building his brand. It'll help him if he wins, because winning helps build your brand. But he came in with his brand. He came in with his bravado. And when you come in like that, and you come in a way making yourself bigger than the program, then it becomes problematic. Because if he came in a little bit more humble, and there's nothing wrong. If you want to come in with pounding your chest, saying we're coming, I got my Louis luggage, you say, that's fine. You can do that, but you better produce. Your damn actions better meet your words. And if it doesn't, it's going to be hell to pay. And that's why people like me can critique you, Coach Prime. And then people say, what have you accomplished? Within my own life, I think I've accomplished enough. My kids respect me. My wife respects me. I'm respected in my community. I mean, I've done enough for me. I don't have to compare myself to Prime. I've never played in the NFL. I'm not a Super Bowl champion. I've never won I've never got inducted to any Hall of Fame. But that's not what measures a man. You guys are getting caught up into the metrics of what men have created. Men can create all these awards. That's not what makes the man. What makes the man is it's here. What makes the man is simplicity. What makes the man is how do you treat your wife? How do you treat your kids? How do you treat your mom? How do you treat the people around you? How do you make them feel? That's what matters the most. I don't give a damn about accolades. I'm a father of 3. If I was coaching the team, no matter how sucky my football team is or how sucky my basketball team is, I'm not throwing those kids under the bus, because those kids are much more than the athlete. You know how many athletes get into depression because they couldn't succeed? They see themselves as failures because they attach their persona. They attach their entire well-being to the sport. And if they don't achieve in the sport, they feel like they are failures. And that's what Coach Prime has made those offensive linemen feel like. Replace them. Replace them? So that's like they're good as dead to you. Replace? Just remember that, folks. Any recruit that's considering going to Colorado, just do know when times do get tough, your coach will throw your ass under the bus. Again, Rainmaker at Rainmaker NYC, the proof is in the pudding. I mean, is it about wins? Of course, it's about wins, because wins helps the brands, but it's not, winning is not primary. It's not the primary goal. It's the agenda. It's the promotion of his sons, the 3 sons that I mentioned, Travis Hunter, Shiloh, and Shador, his 3 sons. I know Travis Hunter's not his biological son, but that's his adopted son. He considers him a son. It's about those three boys, maybe Horn Jr. and Dylan Edwards, because he has a connection with Horn Jr.'s dad, who's incarcerated, and Horn Jr.'s father wanted Horn Jr. to go to follow Prime, and he wanted Prime to take care of him. And then you have Dylan Edwards, who he's coached since he was in Little League, Pee Wee football. So that's the connection there. Other than those 5 players, other guys are disposable. So it's about them. But ultimately, it's about those 3 to 5 boys, 3 to 5 young men, and it's about using them as a resource, as a tool to build him up. So ultimately, it all goes back to Coach Prime. Building brands. I mean, if you want to go build your brand, go be a rap. Like, it doesn't work that way. Now, it's working now. Short term is going to work. Selling out football games, selling merch, your glasses, the apparel that says "we come in" or "we believe" and all this other stuff. That's great. It starts well. It starts great. Let's see how long this can be sustained if he continues to lose games. Not this season. This season is already done with. I'm talking about next season. Let's see, can this be sustained? And mark my words, if they're mediocre next year, or if they play the same way next year, watch how fast and quick Deion leaves. And every Deion supporter, every Coach Prime supporter is going to be like, well, yeah, they were hating on him. They didn't give him a chance. He just got there. They were 1-11. That was only his 2nd year. People were making it hard for him. No, he's making it hard for himself by the shitstorm that he's created, by his ego and lack of pride. I made videos a while ago that he cannot be humbled. That's a curse. When you aren't unable to humble yourself, then you're incapable of evolving. You're going to continue to do the same thing over, and what you end up doing, you end up running from situations that are tough because you can't be humble enough to absorb what the universe is trying to communicate with you. So yeah, he's going to bounce out of Colorado and go somewhere else. That's what he does. It's about him. And it's okay. You have to be selfish to a certain degree in life. But don't come in with this talk about it's about the kids. It's not about me. It's about winning. It's not about winning. I could tell it's not about winning, even by your philosophy of the how you run the team in terms of the X's and O's. You're all about your son's stats. So don't give me that shit about it's about winning. It's not about winning. It's about building your brand. And building your brand is much better built when a Sanders, your son, shines. And you makes you shine too. Just assuming if they were 10-0 right now, and Shador was in talks to win the Heisman. Whew. That's a big brand builder. Think about it. Colorado's getting all this attention and they're not even winning. They're on a losing streak. And they're still getting all this attention. But it's going to die down, though. Next year, if this continues, you're going to see the real Prime show his true colors. Because I always tell people, it's not about how you act when things are great. It's about how you behave when things are not so great. Because right now, he's getting a pass. Everyone's saying the same thing. It's his first year. It's his first year. It's his first year. It's his first year. Well, if it's your first year, why are you demoting offensive coordinators? Why are you throwing linemen under the bus? So if this is how he's acting in his first year, which is supposed to be a year of grace, even if he went 0-11 or not 0-11, let's say he went, the last team went 1-11. So let's say he goes 2-10. I mean, relatively speaking, that's success. He won one more game. Everybody was giving him a pass this year. He's the one that brought the pressure on himself. I'm bringing in my little luggage. I'm going to win now. We want to dominate. He said that earlier in the season he would say that yeah, we won, but we want to dominate. That means that you believe in your talent. And I believe in the talent. I've always said this on numerous videos, and I always say that they are too talented to be losing the way that they're losing. But it's all backed up by a coach that's not doing the right thing. If you have a horrible coach and you have talent, talent's not going to win. Talent can only get you by so far. When you start facing other coaches that are cerebral, that think, that know the game, they're going to out-coach you, even if you have more talent than them. Because you can't think that your team is based off of 1 or 2 players. Your team, Colorado, is not called Travis Hunter Buffaloes. or Shadora Buffaloes. It's called Colorado Buffaloes. The university as a whole expects you, Prime, to do the right things by putting the players in the best position to win and running an offense that pulls on the strengths of many facets of your team, not predicating everything on one guy who's your son to throw the damn ball on every damn down. We'll see how the game goes and see if they even try to run today. But yeah, I don't want to get off on a tangent here. I did not expect this video to be that long. It's like 48 minutes. But yeah, at Rainmaker NYC, thank you for that comment. And it actually gives me more insight to what Coach Prime is about. It actually validates everything that I've been saying. I did not even know about this entertainment stuff, but I just looking at Prime, seeing how he moves, seeing the things he says, how it doesn't really align or it's not actually congruent to his actions. And it just lets me know that this is a guy that's just about himself. And if you're going to be about yourself, that's fine, but don't give off the illusion to the masses that you're about the team when you're not about the team. You're about your brand. You're about your brand. And anybody, and that word sounds icky to me. I'm about my brand. It's so selfish. It's so self-centric and myopic. But how about you just coach football and let winning be the brand? How about that? Can that happen? Doesn't winning bring the brand? Before Jordan was Jordan, didn't he have to win first? Did Jordan come into the NBA try to brand himself with shoes? No, he came in, he had to win first. Then everything else came. But Prime is thinking to himself, well, I've won in life because I've played sports. Yeah, that was back then. You're not an athlete now, you're a coach. You've stepped into a new realm of coaching Power 5 conference football. So you have to come in very humble. You have to come in at the lowest of the lows and build yourself up. You don't come in like you've won something, because you've not won anything on the college level in terms of coaching. Yeah, you won in the NFL. You've won in Major League Baseball, but those days are long gone. But he's bringing that cachet that he had back then. He's bringing it with him now, and bringing that type of mentality as if I've won. You haven't did anything yet. And then I'm scratching my head when I hear people, sports pundits, talk about he has a chance to go to the NFL, but I'm like, he hasn't even proven himself on the college level. What the hell are you guys talking about? He just got to Colorado. He hasn't even did anything. But now he can coach NFL. Anyway, man, miss me with that, man. But yeah, that's my commentary on that, on your question at Rainmaker NYC. Thank you for that comment, and hopefully you could see my thoughts about it. I gave you what I think, and I think that you're spot on. The things that you said would be the same things I would say. Are you about winning, or are you about building your brand? Period. All right, thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment, and until I meet you guys again, I have another article to come at you guys with, and I'm going to share with you guys later. All right, thank you. All right, bye-bye.